You're 68. You're standing in your living room, surrounded by boxes, a photo album in one hand, a chipped teacup in the other. You've just spent hours deciding what stays and what goes, and suddenly you freeze. Why is this so hard? It's just stuff, right? But deep down, you know, it's not just a move. It's a quiet goodbye to a part of you. For many people after 60, the idea of downsizing or moving seems logical. Green circle, less space to clean. Green circle, fewer stairs. Green circle, closer to family. Green circle, more freedom. But here's the truth. No one says out loud. Moving after 60 isn't just physical. It's emotional, spiritual, and deeply personal. Because when you move at this stage of life, you're not just changing homes. You're leaving behind rhythms, memories, identities, and sometimes parts of yourself you didn't expect. You might hear, "It'll be a fresh start." It's just things. Let them go. You'll feel lighter once you move. But what they don't tell you is, you may feel lost in your new space. You might grieve objects others called clutter. You could find yourself missing silence, smells, windows, floors that felt like you. This video isn't to scare you. It's to prepare you. Because if you're over 60 and thinking of downsizing, whether it's for health, simplicity, family, or finances, there are truths you need to know before you start packing. In this video, you'll learn why many seniors regret rushing into a move even when it looked right, what you really lose when you let go of familiar things, the secret reason why new places don't always feel like home, how to avoid emotional whiplash when you move for someone else, and how to protect your identity, even in a smaller, simpler space. I thought downsizing would free me, but it felt like I left my life in that attic. After 60, moving isn't about space. It's about memory, meaning, and what your soul calls home. Let's unpack the real story before you pack your life into boxes. Moving closer to family sounds nice, until you realize it wasn't your choice. Helen was 74 when her daughter said, "Mom, why don't you move closer to us? We'll help more, you won't be alone, and the kids will love seeing you." It sounded perfect. She sold her house, packed her things, and moved into a smaller apartment just 15 minutes away. But after the first few weeks, reality began to settle in. Her daughter was busy, her grandkids were growing, and help turned into last-minute babysitting, errands, and waiting around just in case. "I moved for them," Helen whispered, "but no one asked what I was really giving up." The first truth. When you move for someone else, you often leave behind your own rhythm. At first, it feels like a loving decision. But when the dust settles, many seniors find themselves in unfamiliar neighborhoods, with no friends, no history, no routine, and the quiet feeling that this wasn't their idea at all. What this feels like. You feel guilty for missing your old life. You don't want to burden your kids with your loneliness. You keep saying, "It's fine," but it's not. You start to wonder, did I give up too much? And the hardest part? You can't undo it easily. The house is gone. The community is gone. The daily habits that made you feel like yourself, gone. Why? This is common. We're taught to prioritize family, even above our own needs. Society tells us, at your age, you should be near your children. Guilt or pressure makes it hard to say, "Actually, I'm not ready to move." But love doesn't mean relocation by default. Closeness should feel chosen, not expected. What you can do: pause before saying yes. Ask yourself, do I want this, or am I trying to please them? Imagine your life in the new place. Where will you walk? Who will you talk to? What will your day look like? Set conditions before moving. I need space that's mine. I need time that's mine. I need connection that isn't only about helping others. I moved closer to be helpful. Now I'm the one who needs help, and I'm scared to ask. Deeper truth. After 60, where you live should be a choice, not a compromise. Because your peace is not a luxury, it's your foundation. When you declutter too fast, you let go of more than objects. You let go of identity. James, 76, was always practical. When he decided to downsize, he told himself, "It's just stuff. I don't need 5 frying pans or a box of old postcards." So he started tossing things fast. Boxes to charity, photos to the trash, furniture to the neighbors. It felt clean, light, efficient, until the day he stood in his new 1-bedroom apartment and realized something was missing. Not a chair, not a lamp, but something deeper. "I can't explain it," he said. "I feel like I don't know who I am in here." The second truth. When you declutter in a rush, you're not just removing objects. You're peeling away parts of your story before you've had a chance to grieve them. Yes, simplifying can be beautiful. Yes, too much clutter can overwhelm. But when you're over 60, certain things are more than things. The cookbook with notes from your mother. The jacket you wore the night your spouse proposed. The painting your grandson made, now sun-faded but still glowing. These aren't clutter. They're anchors. In every object, a piece of memory is folded. What this feels like. You enter your new place and it looks clean, but feels empty. You search for something you thought you didn't need, and realize you do. You feel unsettled, disconnected, lest you wonder, where did my life go? And it's not about hoarding, it's about meaning. Why this is common. Downsizing culture tells us, less is more. But no one teaches us how to let go with care, not speed. And at this age, you're not just decluttering a room, you're pruning a life. The problem isn't the move, it's the rush. You deserve time to say goodbye, even to a spoon. What you can do, declutter slowly and intentionally. Ask not just, do I need this? Ask, what memory lives inside this? Keep emotional artifacts, even if they're small. 1 photo, 1 object per year, a tiny history box just for you. Create rituals of letting go. Say thank you out loud. Take a photo. Tell someone the story behind the object before passing it on. I wish I hadn't thrown away the recipes. They were more than meals. They were my mother's handwriting. Deeper truth. Downsizing doesn't mean disappearing. You can make room and still take your soul with you. A new place doesn't always mean a new beginning. Sometimes it's just a new loneliness. Carol was 69 when she moved into a senior apartment complex. New paint, new flooring, a quiet elevator, friendly staff. Everything looked perfect. But the first night, after the moving truck left, she sat on the edge of her new bed and whispered, "It's so quiet. Too quiet." She had traded the creaky stairs, the old garden, and the neighbors who knew her name for a safer, newer space. And still, she felt more alone than ever. The third truth. A new space can't fill an old emptiness, especially if the move wasn't for you. There's a common promise in downsizing. You'll feel free, refreshed, renewed. But here's what actually happens for many seniors. You wake up disoriented, even weeks later. You don't know which drawer has the spoons. You hear silence where laughter used to echo. And deep down, you miss the flaws of your old place. Because they were yours. What this feels like. You feel like a guest in your own life. You hesitate before sitting down. Because the furniture doesn't know your shape. You realize no one here knows you, your story, or what makes you you. You wonder, wasn't this supposed to feel better? Why this happens. We expect new to equal better. But home isn't about fresh paint or fewer steps. It's about familiarity, connection, and continuity. Without that, even the best room feels cold. New walls can't hold old memories until you build new ones. What you can do. Expect an adjustment period, emotionally and spiritually, Don't panic if you don't love it right away. Give it time, but also don't lie to yourself if it feels wrong. Bring life into the space. Plants, music, your smell, your routines. Let your new space learn who you are. Create new rituals fast. Morning tea in the same corner. One neighborly hello a day. Light a candle at the same time. Daily familiarity breeds safety. I moved for a fresh start, but I forgot to take myself with me. Deeper truth. You don't need a new place to begin again. You need a place that welcomes the full story of who you are. Have you ever moved and felt more alone than before? Type #3inches in the comments if this part of the story felt familiar. Or just whisper it to yourself. That's enough. Fear of being alone can push you to move too soon and too far from yourself. Frank was 70 when his wife passed. For months, he lived in their shared home, surrounded by her things. Her scent still on the robe by the door, her favorite mug untouched on the shelf. Then came the well-meaning advice. You need a fresh start, Dad. This house is too big. Why stay alone? So Frank moved. He didn't even visit the new place twice. Didn't think it through. Just packed what he could and left. But what followed wasn't peace. I thought I was escaping loneliness, he said. But I brought it with me, just in a different suitcase. The fourth truth. Fear is a bad real estate agent. It rushes you into decisions that your soul hasn't agreed to. It's normal to feel alone after 60. Normal to want comfort. Normal to crave closeness. But when fear drives your move, you risk abandoning the space where your healing had already begun, losing the familiar comforts that grounded you, finding yourself even lonelier, but now surrounded by strangers in silence. What this feels like. You move and wake up wondering where you are. You look for your chair, your routine, your view, and it's all gone. You feel regret, but also shame for not knowing how to admit it. You realize you moved not to something, but away from pain, and the pain followed. Why this happens? Society teaches us, don't dwell on grief, just move on. Friends say, start fresh. But what you really need is integration, not escape. You can grieve in a space that holds you, but a new place can't hold what it doesn't understand. What you can do. Pause when decisions feel urgent. Loneliness can be loud, but not wise. Wait a season. Let your mind and spirit breathe. Ask yourself, what do I want? And what am I avoiding? Are you choosing a move or running from silence? Find companionship in other ways. Groups, friends, faith, routine, before changing your entire environment. I moved too fast. Now I'm grieving her and grieving the home we built together. Deeper truth. Being alone isn't the same as being lost, but moving too fast can make both feel the same. The feeling of home isn't in the walls. It's in the moments you let yourself be known. Anita, 73, sat on a soft couch in her spotless new apartment. Nice view. Quiet neighbors. Modern fixtures. But something was missing. Not furniture, not decor. No one here knows I used to dance. No one knows I was a teacher for 30 years. No one knows what this teacup means to me. And in that moment she realized, I don't feel at home because I haven't brought my story with me. The fifth truth. Home isn't where you live, it's where you're seen. And being seen takes time, intention, and courage. Many seniors move expecting a feeling, peace, comfort, ease. But what they really need is belonging. And belonging doesn't come with a key. It comes with connection. When no one knows, what music moves you, what loss shaped you, what food comforts you. Your space might be cozy, but your soul still wanders. What this feels like. You feel like a stranger in your own life. You avoid eye contact in the elevator. You stop sharing stories because no one asked. And slowly, you become invisible in a place that should have given you rest. Why this happens? We focus so much on things that we forget about meaning. New neighbors don't know your background, and you're too tired to explain. You hold back because you fear being misunderstood or dismissed. But the result? A house without echoes, a routine without reflection, a life without witnesses. What you can do: bring your story with you on purpose. Hang one photo that tells a full chapter. Display an object with a memory you're proud of. Let your home speak your name. Let someone get to know the real you. Tell a neighbor something surprising. Start with, "Did I ever tell you the time?" You're not too old to make real new friends, but you must begin. Treat every day like you still matter, because you do. Light a candle. Play music from your youth. Make one small ritual feel sacred again. I kept the mug my husband gave me 40 years ago. It's chipped, but it's the only thing that makes this place feel like mine. Deeper truth: your home isn't where your things are. It's where your meaning lives, and where someone sees it. How to downsize without losing yourself. 5 gentle rules for moving with dignity after 60. By now, you've seen the truth behind the boxes, the plans, the fresh start brochures. Downsizing isn't just about space. It's about who you are and who you want to remain. Because after 60, every move carries more than furniture. It carries memory, meaning, identity. So how do you move without losing what matters? Let's finish with 5 quiet rules for keeping your soul intact wherever life takes you. Checkmark Rule 1. Don't rush the decision. Take time. Sleep on it. Visit the new space more than once, not with your checklist, but with your heart. If something feels off, honor that. You're not being picky, you're protecting your peace. Checkmark Rule 2. Keep what holds emotion, not just utility. That worn-out mug, that photo with the smudge, that letter you almost threw away. If it still moves you, it still belongs. Minimalism is trendy, but meaning isn't minimal. Checkmark Rule 3. Let others help, but don't let them decide. Adult children may mean well, but this is your life. Their urgency doesn't have to become yours. Thank them, but say clearly, "I'll move when I'm ready," not when you're worried. Checkmark Rule 4. Bring yourself into the new space. Don't decorate for someone else's taste. Let your new home reflect your story, not a catalog. Hang the painting you love. Use the chair that fits your shape. Display the thing that makes no sense to others, but feels like you. Checkmark Rule 5. Expect sadness and make room for joy. Grief is part of transition. You're not doing it wrong if you cry, but you also get to smile, to light a candle, to open a window, to whisper, "This too is mine." I thought I was moving to a smaller space, but now I realize I was moving into a more honest one. Deeper truth: home is not a place you find. It's a truth you carry. If you take your story with you, you're never really starting over. Have you ever moved and felt like you lost more than furniture? Leave a comment, even just #7 inches, if this helped you feel seen. And if someone you love is thinking about downsizing, send this to them. Before they pack, right finger, subscribe to Speech Balloon Longevity Talks Herb for honest guidance, gentle truth, and strong hearts after 60.